These are 5 things that helped me get to a 0 handicap. Trust me guys, you're going to want to listen to the very end because the last one was an absolute game changer that helped me improve the most. We obviously all aspire to become the best golfer that we can possibly be. When I started golf in 2017, I started as a 22 handicap, and within 4 years, I was down to a 0 handicap or a scratch golfer. These 5 things that I'm about to explain are very easy to implement and will make a massive difference to your golf game. Whether you're a 20 handicapper, 10 handicapper, or even a scratch golfer, you may not be doing these. So if you're someone who just wants to improve, you don't have to become a scratch golfer to become a good golfer. These things can help you improve your golf game in general. Now, the first thing is flicking my back foot up before I hit. Now, you can do this in multiple variations. You can either flick your back foot up before you hit, or you can keep your back foot slightly raised as you hit your shot. So throughout the whole golf swing. Now, I learned this when I could not stop coming over the top. My PGA coach told me, hey mate, just relax your right foot, raise it a little bit, and trust me, you'll start shallowing the club out. And naturally, that's exactly what happened. Now, you might not think it's much of a big difference, but when you raise your right foot a little bit, what it does is it releases all the tension in your right side of the body. When you're really cramped up and you've got heaps of tension in that right side of the body, you struggle to take the club away, and in your downswing, you struggle to come in shallow, and you always find yourself coming over the top because you have no relaxation in that right side of the body. When I started raising my right foot or flicking my foot before I hit, I started naturally being able to release tension and shallow the club out. It was honestly such a big game changer. Now I can start hitting more straight shots and some nice draws. I do this with all of my shots. Now, the second thing is hovering your putter at address before you hit your putts. Now, you've probably seen Ricky Fowler make this famous, but sometimes people don't really understand what it actually does. Now, the main thing that people don't hear is that what it does is when you raise your putter, you are activating a lot of the muscles in your back, which means you are now only using your back muscles when you rotate to hit the putt, especially when you get under pressure or you stop using your hands and your putting stroke stops becoming a handsy swing and you really rely on your back muscles and the rotation. It really engages your back and your shoulders so you can really rotate through that ball with a pure stroke instead of getting really handsy and getting really flicky with the ball. So next time, go have a try, raise the putter, and you'll be able to feel a little bit of a pinch in your back and your shoulders. And trust me, it really activates your back and shoulders to really create a nice pure stroke. This really helped me under pressure, especially when you're trying to shave strokes off your game. Putting was so key to maintain really good strokes throughout the whole round to mitigate all 3 putts and make some more birdies. Now, number 3 might seem obvious, but it is really underrated. It's taking more club whenever you are in the middle of clubs. You do not need to hit 100% shots at all. So let's just say you've got 120 meters in. You could probably get a pitching wedge there with an 100% shot. I will 10 out of 10 times take my 9-iron and hit an 85% shot. What it does is gives you such a more controlled swing. An 85% controlled swing will have a way better chance of being a pure strike instead of trying to launch a pitching wedge 120%. That is when you start spraying balls, and it just adds so many unnecessary strokes to your game. When I started doing this really helped me get some really consistent rounds going in the low 70s, mid 70s. Every time I rocked up to the ball, I knew I was going to hit a pure because I'm taking more club. So more club means take a club above that's going to go further than the original club. You don't just have to do this when you're in the middle of distances and you're in the middle of clubs. Naturally, I do this on most of my shots. If I've got 150 meters in, yep, I could definitely get an 8-iron there, but I'll definitely opt for a 7-iron, hit a 90, 85% shot. Don't hit 100% shots. Hit more controlled 90% shots, and trust me, you will start ball striking it better and hit way more consistent shots. So moving to number 4, pitch and run instead of hitting 60 degree. So taking a 9-iron or taking a pitching wedge instead of hitting 60 degree everywhere on the golf course. Now, don't get me wrong, I love hitting a flop shot, I love hitting 60 degree, and I still hit it a lot of the time. But when I really needed to get up and down or just become a more consistent golfer, I started taking 9-iron, pitching wedge, 52 degree, and just hitting more of a low chip and run shot or even just a stock pitch instead of just hitting 60 degree everywhere. Sometimes it warrants to hit a 60 degree. Sometimes when you're in a bunker, if you're short-sighted and you need to hit a high shot and to hit a soft landing shot. When I was under pressure, that 60 degree shot is actually so much harder to hit than just hitting a nice pitch and run with a pitching wedge. You're getting rid of the chance of hitting a duff or just a bad chip shot. How many times have you taken 60 degree and even if you've hit it well, you've still left it really short? It's because you need to carry it a certain distance. For example, if you've got 20 meters in, it's actually hard to carry a pitching wedge and hitting it 17 meters and getting it to stop. That is so much harder than just taking a pitching wedge and just rocking your shoulders and hitting a nice soft chip, because you're guaranteed that that ball is going to roll out and you pretty much cannot duff the shot. shot. Also, sometimes just making a bogey is a better option than making a double bogey. You cannot get up and down all the time. So if you just at least make sure that you're not duffing your shot and you're at least making a 5, sometimes bogey is not the worst case. And it got rid of all my double bogeys and triple bogeys, and I wasn't making stupid mistakes out on the golf course around the greens. And trust me, you end up hitting it close a lot of the time. Now moving on to number 5, and this is the biggest game changer. It is dropping my back foot when I'm chipping. Yes, that is right, dropping your back foot. I've spoken about this quite a bit on my short form channels and even here on YouTube. When you drop your back foot, you are mitigating all the risk of fatting the shot. How many times have we fatted a chip shot? We walk up to the shot and we don't have a clue of how to hit this. When you move your back foot back, not only are you giving yourself more space to hit that chip shot instead of being cramped up, what you're doing is you're putting the perfect amount of pressure on that left foot. Usually when you're chipping, you want to have a 60% pressure split, so 60% on your left foot, 40% on your back foot. What that does is it allows you to hit the most cleanest shot possible. Gets rid of hitting fat shots and thin shots because your body weight is perfect. When you drop your back foot, you are naturally putting the perfect amount of pressure on your lead foot without having to manipulate it. Not only that, when you drop your back foot, you have so much more space in your backswing to come through and hit a nice crispy nipper or just hit a nice clean chip shot. When you're set up standard, you get a little bit more cramped and that opens up more fat shots. And trust me, this was the biggest game changer. I was so more confident around all my chips, and having that more space means that you can actually do anything with the chip shot. You can hit a high one, medium one, or even a nipper. Having some bad scores was definitely because you would duff a chip shot in your round. Now that I got rid of that negativity and my confidence is there with all my chips, having confidence on your chipping is the biggest game changer to getting your scores down lower. Definitely give this a go. You don't need to exaggerate it too much, but I like to drop my back foot just a little bit, gives me more space, puts pressure on my left foot, and all I do now is hit crispy chip shots. Okay guys, there you go. Those are the 5 things that helped me get down to a 0 handicap. I hope this video really helped you because I'm continuously trying to get better at golf, and all of these 5 things are small things that you can implement. They're not major things, but when I learned them, they made such a big impact to my game, and it really made me excited to get out on the golf course and go practice them, and motivated me to get better at golf. Let me know which one you love the most and which one maybe you've already started doing. My name's Chris, otherwise known as CK Golf. If you liked the video, please click the like button below. Maybe click subscribe, only if you want to, because I'm going to be making more of these videos moving on. Thanks again, and I'll see you in the next video.